Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. We are going to finish our look at YYZ today by Rush by checking out Alex Lifeson's guitar solo. So this one I have switched guitars here because it requires a little bit of Whammy bar work. So I got like a floating system. My Strat's not a big fan of that kind of stuff. So anyway, we're going to start here. We're still in standard tuning, and I'm just going to take it phrase by phrase. And I'll just this solo's got a lot of he kind of is just playing around through a scale down the B string a lot, and he's kind of not really something that's going to be a definitive lick to play or whatever. It's more just like a feel or a style of playing, very legato playing that he's doing. So we're going to see if we can get this note for note as close as possible, but just keep that in mind that some of this is kind of improvised, and those types of things, little bits and pieces of it at least, are going to be hard to completely recreate. All right, but let's start here with this first phrase. So that is a legato lick that's going to start here at the 15th fret on the B string and pull off, pull off to 13, pull off to 12, and then to the open B. Now, we have a lot of pulling off to the open string here. So just a little tip here. I like to mute the high E string with my middle finger. So when I'm laying on that string, when I'm playing the B string, you're never going to hear that string, the high E string, ring out because I have it muted. So if I didn't do that, you're going to get a lot more noise. So let's start here again. We're going to pull off those three notes to the open B. And then come down to the 7th fret and hammer on 7, 8, 10. So from that open B string. So he lets that top note, that 10th fret ring a little bit, then does a quick little pull off, and then he does another pull off 8 to 10 again, 10 to 8. And then he does a quick little trill, 7 to 8, back to 7, over to the 9th fret on the G. So we have this. All right, next phrase. All right, so that's going to go 8, 9 on the G string. And then you're going to start doing kind of a staccato picking on 7, 8, 10, 8, 7 on the B. Then back down to the G string and play 9, 8, 9, 11, then a half step bend there at the 11. And then you're going to do a quick little pull off from 9 to 8, back to 9 on the G. All right, now he does a really cool lick going up the B string. So he starts with just the open B, and you're going to hammer on 1, 4, pull back off to 1, and to the open B. So he does that initially as soon as he starts the lick, and then there's a slight pause as he shifts up to the 4th fret and does the same thing, which is from that open B, hammer on the 4th fret, 7, back to 4, back to the open B. And then he's going to jump up here and grab the 12th fret on the B string. All right, now from there we have this. All right, so this is why I couldn't use my Strat, because some of the notes are being pulled up there, so you have to be able to pull upwards. So what we're going to do here is from the 12th fret there on the B string, over to the 14th fret on the high E. You do a quick pull off from that 14 to the 12th fret, slide down to 11, hammer back onto that 12, back down to 11. Now here's where we start. He kind of does like a, if you listen to a recording, it's kind of a crazy sound that he's got going there. What he does is he starts with just 13, 12, 13 on the beat. And on that second 13, he really starts adding a lot of vibrato bar work. And then he goes, kind of just going between the 11th fret on the high E string and back down to the 13 on the B. But on the second time going back to those 11s, he's pulling the bar up slightly. So we have this. And then you resolve it there at the 13th fret there on the B. All right, next phrase. All right, now this is the thing that I was talking about. When you get this kind of legato style, it's more of just knowing the notes of the scale and knowing the style of playing. So just it's kind of this little loose legato style that is, he probably doesn't do a lot, you know, the exact same way each time, just because of, you know, the nature of the lick. So, but anyway, on the recording, he's kind of starting with on the 17th fret here, on the high E string, and pulling off to the 12th, and then pulling off, hammering on the 14. So you just pick this top note really, and then hammer, pull off to 12, hammer on 14, pull back off to 12, and then hammer on 15, and pull off 14, 12. So this. Then come over to the 15th fret on the B string, then back to the 12th fret on the high E string, and then he goes back to the B string, and you're going to pull off 15 to 13, slide down to 12, back to 13, into a bend at the 15th fret. So let me just put that together real quick. Now, what you can really try to look at this is just the scale, the notes of the scale, 17, you can even start there. A lot of the times live now, he doesn't really play that note, the high E, string, the 17th fret. He just plays, just hangs out on the 12th position really, without doing the big stretch. And just playing 12, 14, 15 on the high E, and then 12, 13, 15 on the B. And you just do whatever you want with legato phrasing between those 6 notes, and then you just, as long as you get to that bend right when it's heard, you know, supposed to be, it's going to sound fine. So you get to that bend, and then going down, there's more of this. You just kind of do the pull off, slide, and slide down to the 12. Pull off 13, down to 12, and then back to a bend now at the 13th fret. So you just kind of want to fill up space by doing that kind of legato. And that's really what he's doing when he's recording this. So we have this. All right, now from there, we're going to pick down to this. So we're going to pick 13, 12, 10, then back to 13. So just kind of doing 13, 12, 10 a couple times. And then when we get to this 10 the second time, he's just basically doing this kind of trill, like 10 to 12, back to 10, hammer pull, slide down to 8, and then do the same lick there, sliding down to 7. So all together. All right, so it's really, like I said, there's really not a wrong way of doing it as long as you get to those final notes, like the 2 bends and that final 7 there, right when you need to. The stuff in between, as long as you're staying within the scale, the notes of the scale down that B string, it's going to sound fine. All right, now we have a second ascending legato lick that off the open B string. It sounds like this. All right, so that's gonna now just these are nice and even. They're not like the first one. It's just so it's gonna start with the open B, and then you hammer on 4, back pull off to 1, pull off to 0, hammer back onto 1, and pull back off to 0. So this. Then jump up here and hammer the 5th fret, then 7, pull off to 4, pull off to the open. So hit this. And then you're gonna hammer 4 to 5, and kind of pause there. So we have this. One more time. Then you're gonna do a quick little, which is just gonna be a hammering 4 to 5, pull back to 4, open B, and as you pull off, you're gonna jump up here and hammer 10 to 13. All right, and then we're gonna have this, which is kind of similar to how we ended the previous legato lick, except he's gonna be doing that hammer, pull, slide down to 8, hammer, pull, slide down to 7. Then he's gonna pick 8 and slide back to 10 to end it. So that comes out of this. All right, now we have a legato lick that is very distinct and very exacting. He does it the same way every time. It sounds like this. And it's really fun to play, and like I said, you want to mute maybe the high E string and maybe even the G string by just putting your pickup against it, so you don't really have to worry about any other noise being thrown in there. So here's the lick. First, you're going to start it with just an open B string, and then we get to the lick. You're going to pick the first note, which is the 10th fret there on the B, hammer 12, pull back to 10, and then pull off to the open B. So now we're going to do those 4 notes again, except you're not going to pick anything. You're going to come back down and hammer 10. So we have this. Now you're always going to be hammering with that index finger. No more picking here on this lick. Just move it down 2 frets. So you're going to be doing the hammer and pulls between the 8th and 10th fret. We're going to continue the same lick now, except now we're going to do each one once between 7 and 8, 5 and 7, 4 and 5, and 1 and 4. So we have this. And then jump up and grab that 10th fret there on the B and just let that sustain. Now we have a little kind of nice section here where we have some really kind of sustained guitar melodies at the very end after the solo. It sounds like this. All right, so that starts at the 12th fret on the A, to 14 on the D. And then over to the 17th fret on the B, and then play 14, 17 on the G. Play this. Then play 16 on the G, with a slow half-step bend and release. Over to the 17 on the D. And back to the 12 on the A. And ended at the 15th fret on the A. And then we're back to that main sequence that we learned in the first video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a really cool solo. It's got a very unique vibe about it. He's got some really it's kind of exotic sounds with all those legato work against the open strings. But anyway, it's a great exercise for legato, and it's a great challenge as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.